Have you ever found yourself watching the H3 show and thinking, what's this bald guy all about? Well, that's Dan Swerdlove. He's the executive producer of the H3 show, and boy, do I have a video for you. Join me on this voyage as we cover the history of Dan, his most memorable moments, as well as many of the Dan-related soundbites. By the end of this video, you will be able to call yourself an expert in all things Swerdlove. One thing I want to explain really quickly in case you are not familiar with the show's past is during the COVID era, the podcast was split into 3 different shows in an attempt to segment the content and appeal to advertisers. The 3 different shows were H3 TV, Off the Rails, and After Dark, while also using the H3 podcast title for the occasional guest interview episodes. They also added a 4th episode for members only called See You Next Tuesday, which was later switched to See You Next Thursday. But eventually, H3 TV, Off the Rails, and After Dark all essentially became the same thing, leading to the rebranding from the H3 podcast to the H3 show. So now they have 3 episodes a week of the H3 show, with a 4th episode on Thursdays for members only. I know, this is really straightforward stuff. So when you hear me listing episode titles, just know that they're all basically the same thing at this point. Dan Allen Swerdlove is the executive producer of the H3 show, but no one title can encapsulate everything that Dan brings to the show. No. Dan is a man of many names. Some of them include Dan the Hater, a name given to him by Ethan due to the many topics that Dan hates. Dan can occasionally be a contrarian when it comes to popular things and has strong opinions, which is why this nickname was bestowed upon him. Dan the Lover, a name given to himself by himself in an effort to combat the hater allegations. He argues that he is no more of a hater and potentially less of a hater than Ethan, which I may have to agree with. Dan the Wizard, a name he earned due to his ability to work his magic on all technical difficulties. Dano, Danathan, and occasionally Dad from Ethan by mistake.
Get a straw pull up there. Can you hear Dan's chip bag?
Call me Dad. Sorry.
Dan. Reading everything, going over evidence, preparing arguments, counter arguments. And as Dad said, I just called you Dad.
Me?
I meant to call you Dan. So I was explaining about the last button, and then Dad said something I had to button out. So I don't know what's left.
Plenty of viewers would consider Dan the 3rd co-host of the H3 show, and in many ways he is the yin to Ethan's yang. He is never afraid to correct the facts or present counter-arguments to a conversation that otherwise may be one-sided. When Ethan is going goblin mode, Dan is nearly always the voice of reason and is constantly keeping the channel's well-being in mind, especially during the minutes before, during, and directly after an ad read.
So let's thank our sponsor today, HelloFresh. You know what's not going to be aborted? Your HelloFresh membership.
Okay, Does that kill the music? Take off the graphic off the screen real quick, Ian. Hey, Ethan, why don't we do our ads?
Okay.
Today,
for the first time.
Today's episode is sponsored by HelloFresh. Woo!
Woo! HelloFresh.
Seeing as Dan is the longest running crew member, there really is no better place to start than the beginning. Well, episode 17 to be exact. Actually, we're gonna have to start just a little bit earlier. Dan was born on July 21st, 1987 to parents Larry Swerdlove and Cindy McKay. Both parents were writers working on shows such as Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers and Muppet Babies, a fact that has been brought up on the show a few times. In 2003, around the age of 15 or 16, Dan would be featured in a Mega Man 15th anniversary commercial. This fact would be discovered by a fan and revealed on episode 100 of Off the Rails.
My cousin worked for Capcom in their marketing department, and they needed people to do testimonials for this commercial they were making.
Did they
She
pay
knew I
you?
played Mega Man. No, I don't think so.
That's crazy
Yeah,
how they do that.
It was at some event at an arcade or something. It was a long time ago. It's very hazy, but
wait,
but I was happy to do it. I love Mega Man, still do.
that's how they get you though.
Great
That's how they
game.
get free labor out of children.
Yeah, now they exploited me.
So, but how did they come across this? Was this ever like a paid or a commercial somewhere?
That's what I was wondering.
How the fuck did they find it?
Is the user that posted this? What are you doing watching television ads from 1999?
Graphic is so cool. It just has everything that a good game should have.
They put it together like a big ass commercial though. They probably did run this on TV. Why else?
No,
would
it did. It did. This was.
Dude, that's crazy. They didn't pay you. That's fucked up.
I guess I never really thought about it. They probably should have paid all those kids.
Oh yeah.
They were just kind of. They were like farming these interviews. They had like a station. It was some event or something. And they were just like farming interviews. They were having kids just like come through and sit down, and they would just ask them a couple questions about Mega Man or whatever.
That's fucked.
And so I popped in and did it, and I made the cut because what can I say? I'm a natural.
You crushed it.
I'm a
Well,
natural, dude.
Let's see.
You go like this, do all that. I have grown up with Mega Man.
I have grown up.
Graphic is so cool.
That's it.
It sounds. It
That's
feels
it.
very true.
I have. I have grown up with Mega Man.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah,
even
still
say if you
got it.
like it,
Yeah.
frankly.
I still got it, folks.
I know that Dan says it was in 1999, but while researching this video, I found that Mega Man released in 1987, meaning that it would be only the 12th anniversary in 1999. Also, it features a GameCube game in the commercial, which definitely was not released in 1999. Dan's now famous line,
I have grown up with Mega Man.
would, to no one's surprise, become a soundbite. In his earlier days, Dan worked as a waiter at a now fabled California pizza kitchen, otherwise known as CPK. The reason I refer to the CPK as fabled is because Dan, throughout the years, has had many anecdotes involving his time at the restaurant. So much so, in fact, that it has turned into a meme on the show.
I will say the spicy Italian pizza at California Pizza Kitchen. Good pizza there. I gotta say that.
Dan, any comment about the California Pizza Kitchen? I
What
heard you used
pizza
to
did you
work
say?
there.
It's the spicy Italian pizza.
I don't. Really
It might be a new.
Is that a newer thing?
It might
I don't
be,
know.
yeah. On cauliflower crust.
Dan used to work there.
There was no cauliflower crust when I worked there. Yeah. I used
We used to work at CPK, dude. Really?
Yeah, it's true.
Wait.
At the Topanga Mall?
Did you
the one at the
possibly
No way!
maybe serve anybody famous ever?
Do I bring it up a lot? Do I?
You know what?
No.
It just is one of those things where it's like,
Everybody knows that about
It's
me.
like,
It's
huh.
come up occasionally.
you've mentioned that a lot. Not intentionally, but I go, huh, I've heard that story a lot of times.
Sure.
Now, when other crew members bring up their own topics or stories of a similar nature too frequently, Ethan will refer to those topics as insert crew member's name here's CPK. For example, you might say Michigan is AB's CPK. In his 20s, Dan would start his work in production. He worked in the camera and electrical department as assistant director and producer for multiple projects before finally landing at the H3 podcast, and the show would never be the same. Dan's first appearance was episode 16 of the H3 podcast.
As soon as the new administration came in, boom, that guy gets promoted. He's now the commissioner. And of course, immediately he does what he said he always wanted to do, which is keep it the way it used to be, basically, so that they can just
Deregulate it.
Right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Dan. This is brought to you by your Dan official update. So to try to answer your question.
But fans were left wondering what this mystery man might look like. Luckily, we didn't have to wait long, because Dan's first face reveal was the following episode, episode 17 of the H3 podcast, featuring Jack's Films and Eric of Internet Comment Etiquette. Side note, bring the boys back on. He first joined us on the iconic purple couch, where he delivered the news, perhaps an early sign of his upcoming career as a traffic reporter, but more on that later. Some of the news he reported on included a murder-free weekend in Baltimore, a truck crash that left 7,500 pounds of eels covering the road, and a Chinese invention called the anti-pervert flamethrower, just to name a few. You know, real uplifting stuff. The first mention of Dan is actually in episode 11, featuring Ethan's parents.
That's kind of sick.
Dan is saying that the chewing.
Oh, the chewing. Dad, what the hell?
Stop.
Come on, I'm chewing tobacco. Come on, where's my spittoon?
He would later state that the first episode he worked on was actually 2 episodes prior, episode number 9, featuring Joey Salads. Even in the beginning, Dan has never been the type of producer to remain silently in the background. He has always been comfortable chiming in and being part of the show, and would continue to be featured on camera for the occasional news segments. Eventually, they would add a camera to the other room, effectively giving more of a spotlight to Dan and the rest of the crew. In the early days of the show, Dan had hair, and he vaped, neither of which are the case now. However, Dan replaced his vaping habit with one much more sinister, an addiction to chips, most frequently salt and vinegar.
And why is that?
They just, don't want to be
Why
on
is
camera.
Ian not on the screen?
Because I told you we need Dan to have a.
I see Dan just eating chips.
Then why are you eating during the show?
Why not? I'm not hungry.
All I see is Dan eating chips, and I want to see Ian. Ian, show yourself when you talk.
I'm here. Yeah, what's up?
Go ahead. Why she don't want to be on the show?
Dan almost looked like that gif where they're eating popcorn, like watching
Right.
the drama.
Yeah.
I'm still liking it.
Dan, are you starving?
I'm eating some chips. What do you want? It's true.
Are you just eating
Are you
chips to
just-
live up to the meme?
Are you,
or
is
what's
it
going
a
on back
meme
there?
or are you starving?
I'm hungry. It's true. We starting late again.
He's always eating chips back here.
Yeah,
it's authentic.
It's authentic.
I'm getting worried
Jalapeno
for
ones
your
are fire.
health.
I know. Me too. I'm eating way too many of these chips.
That's all right. You're a healthy boy. You're vegetarian.
You know what it is? It's
Can
because
you
I
eat too
quit
much
the
chips?
I quit the nicotine.
Oh, that's true.
Appetite suppressant.
Well, that's got to be better for you than that.
Slamming chips and
I think
and
so,
vaping,
probably.
Yeah, maybe. I'm on his page right now. All these videos.
Dan,
are up.
what are you
Dan.
eating? What are you eating?
What do you think?
Chips?
Yeah,
It sounds like you were eating ice cream or something.
Sounds like you got a chip problem.
I do a little bit.
True.
You're a chipaholic.
Chipaholic.
Gonna have
true.
to take care of that.
You stopped smoking and now you got a chip addiction.
Yeah, exactly.
Though I think I'm glad you're eating chips and not smoking, so I'm not going to give you hate for that. What can you
So
say about
quiet
Dan? What
back
can you say
there.
about Dan that we wouldn't say to his face?
He's an
Can we
extraordinary
talk about his
individual.
chip problem?
His what?
Chips problem.
Oh. I think it's funny. I'm afraid that he thinks I'm actually giving him a hard time. I think it's hilarious.
No, I'm actually worried that he's working some kind of new addiction there with the chips.
Do you guys see him eat? How often is he eating chips? Is this just something he does on the air?
He doesn't eat a lot. Yeah, probably more on the air.
What is that? Is he just trying to ham it up?
I guess. I mean, it's kind of a meme now.
But he can't
He's
just.
becoming a living meme.
Yeah.
It's just so funny to open the mic chewing. It's like, dude, what the hell? It's great.
I don't know. Maybe he associates like vaping with the show, so he's like using
Right.
chips.
That's
That,
true.
yeah.
Man, he used to vape hard, and now he's a good old boy.
It's funny to see them talk so heatedly about eating on the show, considering the show's relationship with food today. From ordering food live to 20-minute segments of Ethan eating silently inside of a Subway, it's safe to say that they don't care about eating food on the show anymore. A divisive issue amongst the fan base. As a result of the dynamic with food on the show changing, the Dan chip meme is rarely brought up anymore, but at one time it was a core part of who Dan was on the show. From nearly the beginning of his time on the show up until very recently, there was another piece of Dan's role on the show that really resonated with fans, his countdown before each show. Before every show, Dan's countdown could be heard, but in true Hollywood fashion, he would always stop at the number 2. The first instance of this could be heard during episode 82, featuring Tim Heidecker.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to the H3 Podcast Live.
Okay, so I guess I lied a little bit there because you can hear him say the number 1 in that clip, but by the next episode he had dropped the number 1, never to return again. An interesting fact I noted while researching this video is that during the intro for the previous episode, episode 81, Ethan started talking before his mic had been turned on, so the first few words could not be heard.
Everybody to the H3 Podcast.
I have to wonder if this is the origin for Dan's iconic countdown. The countdown would continue as a staple of nearly every episode up until recently.
3, 2,
Well.
2,
Welcome, H3 Warriors.
2.
Welcome, H3 Army. I am your leader and your dad, Fupish Maximus.
As time had gone on, the countdown became less and less frequent, slowly being replaced by Zach kicking off the episode with whatever music his heart desired. It can still be heard very occasionally, but for the most part, the count has gone quiet. But fans still very much want the countdown back. If you go on the subreddit, you will occasionally see posts begging for the countdown to come back. Well, fans can hopefully breathe a sigh of relief because in a very recent episode, episode 97 of See You Next Thursday, they finally addressed the controversy.
First order of business, why the fuck can't you get the timing of the shows right? Every day now I gotta see people on the subreddit being like, Dan is starting it too late. Ethan's mid-sentence when the show starts.
I don't know what's going on with YouTube. For years, it was a very consistent amount of time from the time that you clicked go live to when it cuts in. Then we introduced the button, which adds a 20-second delay, but it's very simple. I just have a stopwatch that I start when I do the countdown, and then I would start the show when it got to about 19 seconds on that. So it was just a little bit ahead. That worked. How long ago did we get the button?
It was
2 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, it's been a while.
And then all of a sudden, as of like 3 weeks ago, YouTube changed something, and it's all fucking fucked up. Listen, I'm doing my best here, people. I know the 2 is important to people. I've seen a lot of complaints that I missed the 2 at the start.
Well, listen, if it starts too late, people go, "Oh, what did I miss?" And if it starts too early, I'm sitting here like an idiot, being like, "I'm fucking dumb. Look at me.
Yeah,
I've got nothing to do."
No, that's what I always think when I look at you.
Hopefully, it won't be long until the return of the beloved countdown. Many times, Dan's presence can be felt within moments of the show starting. Dan is the ultimate hype man, often starting the show with loud clapping or even screaming. We don't often get Dan the hype man at his full 100% power, but when we do, it hits.
Are back after a 2-week hiatus. Remix.
Oh, there it is.
The hottest.
There it is.
Let's go!
Oh, there it is.
Woo!
Oh, there it is.
All right, our neighbors are going to call an ambulance if you keep screaming like that, although I appreciate the hype.
There it is.
One of his most powerful screams occurred during the intro of H3 TV 56.
Doing a live show. Woo! Thank you, guys. Thank you. We actually, yes, thank you. Love the enthusiasm. Thank you. Wow. More intensity, Dan. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
The scream you just witnessed would go on to produce one of Dan's most iconic pictures and my personal favorite. This picture will still pop up in various meme forms on the subreddit or Instagram, so shout out to Dan for always bringing the hype, and I just love this picture so much. Dan the Wizard is a very fitting title bestowed upon Dan by Ethan because of his prowess in all things technical. It has been said amongst the common folk that Dan the Wizard has the power to fix any technical issue in all the land. This nickname was birthed from a merch drop in which each crew member had their own shirt for sale on the H3 store. Dan's shirt depicted him as a wizard with pointed ears, holding a bag of salt and vinegar chips. Above him, the word honestly, and next to him, the text, "We gotta go to break." Both of these are sound bites that I will explain a little bit later, but they are not really key to the wizard persona that you see before you. Literally no one familiar with the H3 show would deny the technical improvements and changes that Dan has brought to the table. I am positive there are many things he has done behind the scenes that viewers will never even know about. There are, however, quite a few that we do know about. During the pandemic, Dan helped pack up the old studio and move the operation completely into Ethan's basement. This is where the entirety of Frenemies would be shot, as well as all of the COVID-era episodes. After COVID, when the show moved into a new studio, the one they're currently at, I have no doubt that Dan had a hand in nearly all aspects of the setup. Most recently on Dan's technical wish list is a grid to install over the studio so that they might have more professional and dynamic lighting hanging from above. He's brought it up a couple of times, but as of now, there's still no grid. I personally believe that Dan's biggest contribution to the show, solely measured in monetary value, has to be the legendary button. The button, known as a dump box or a dump switch, are used by live broadcasting companies that allow them to dump the last 30 seconds of broadcast before being cast out to the public. It is essentially a do-over button. After the button is pushed for 30 seconds, viewers will see preloaded fan art and memes submitted to the H3 subreddit. Look, it's no secret that Ethan has been involved in multiple controversies since the inception of the podcast, some warranted and some not. Looking at you, BTS fans. The final straw was simply known as the Chestnuts Incident on episode 265 of the H3 podcast titled Rebecca Black. Ethan and Hila had finished the interview with Rebecca, and after she exited, they decided to continue the show, reacting to a video of streamer QT Cinderella. In this video, QT Cinderella is crying while responding to a website selling inappropriate deepfakes of her. Ethan would instruct Zach via Discord to play a song, and, well, I'll just let the rest of the clip speak for itself.
Why?
What is going on with you?
Sorry, don't mind me.
If you are able to look at women who are not selling themselves or benefiting off of being seen sexually,
You're a monster, dude. You guys are crazy.
Why did you do that?
Zach, what the fuck, bro?
Obviously, Ethan had to issue an apology, but as a result of this, in the hopes that this would never happen again, the $20,000 button was purchased. The first appearance of the button would be on episode 63 of Off the Rails, titled Andrew Tate Says Trans Rights, Nick Cannon's disturbing new show, Elon Musk. Really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
So here's the button. Now, how this button works, my friends. Thank you, Lena. You've got a video and you've got an audio. We're hitting both.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No risks.
The button has been pushed many, many times since then. In fact, in the first 30 weeks of operation, the button was pushed around 83 times, with only 4 weeks where the button was not pushed at all. Now, I'm sure they are just playing it safe with a lot of these button pushes, but even if 1 or 2 of these pushes saved them from losing a sponsor due to the controversy, then the button had possibly already paid for itself in the first 30 weeks. I have no doubt that by now it absolutely has paid for itself. One thing I noticed while editing this is that in the original Chestnuts video, Ethan is wearing a shirt featuring a yellow flower on the left and a red mushroom on the right. This just so happens to be the same colors as the button. Just an interesting coincidence, I guess. This whole button tangent is basically just me trying to glaze up Dan for taking this live broadcast show to the next level and adding to the show what is now a staple to nearly every episode. The final piece of Dan's technical impressiveness that I would like to highlight is his involvement with each of the H3 live shows featuring audiences. It is very clear that the entire crew does a ton of preparation leading up to these live shows, so I don't want to take anything away from their hard work. I just have to assume that with Dan coming from a background in production, he was able to bring that knowledge to help facilitate many aspects in the live show. I know anytime there is a live show, the crew talks about the tremendous amount of work that goes into each one, so big ups to Dan and the crew for giving us fans the chance to experience the show in an awesome way. Whether it's upgrading the camera and lights, or the addition of handheld cameras and mics for segments around the office or even on location, or the button itself, without Dan, I'm confident that we would be watching a very different show right now.
Dan, our illustrious producer who turned this dime store gumshoe operation into, we got a table now. We got some killer. No, no, seriously.
Can they see you? Is that camera on?
Okay. Apparently not that gumshoe. Dan seriously shaped this shit up. He did so much to help get this show to a great technical point, and thank you so much.
My pleasure.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Happy to have you.
It's a ton of fun.
So thank you. Looking forward to working together on season 2.
Hell yeah.
The concept of Dan getting a new chair was first brought up in episode 35 of After Dark. The show was just exiting the COVID era, and seeing as they were about to be moving into a new studio, Dan requested a new chair.
We're in a new workshop for Dan, you know. We're moving soon, and Dan wanted a new setup, so here's some stuff we were looking at. Ela, I don't think you've seen this, so tell me what you think. Something like this, maybe? Zero gravity workshop.
What?
Can I get it?
$16,000.
It's only $16,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, that seems
Wait, but
totally reasonable.
Why would anyone want this?
Because I could command the show from there. Just imagine how cool I would look on the show when it cuts away, and I'm like, you know, I'm switching, I'm doing the audio, I'm doing all kinds of stuff from my station.
But look, they have got a whole collection of them.
Why is it called zero gravity?
It's
you're
just
just floating.
It's just sitting. This is some real end of life shit.
Two laptops. Look at that. He's got a laptop on each side.
Legitimately do the show, right? Like you could actually do the show.
Absolutely, I could.
I think we should get it.
You do?
Yeah.
It's gonna be, but you know, it takes like 10 minutes to get out.
We got 10 minutes.
Look, I'm like, damn, when you got an issue,
I'd have to like suit up. There it is. That's the one.
I love this.
So this
photo.
one is got a gyroscope. It rotates. I could spin
It
around.
rotates?
Yes.
There's a video of it if you
You
guys
could
want
do
to
the
watch.
show upside down.
I don't know if it goes fully upside down, but it does. Like I could spin.
We need to get you like a whole harness so you can do it upside down.
They did not settle on a chair this day, but the seed had been planted. During episode 6 of Off the Rails, discussions of a new chair would begin once again, where AB would suggest the now infamous scorpion chair.
Dan, I have something I need to talk to you about. Dude, when are you going to make a move? I literally said, Dan, it's in your corner. People are yelling at me because this chair, nothing's happening with the chair. I put it on the table if it's all in Dan's corner now. Dan, you could be in this right now. What excuse do you have?
Well, so first of all, I did reach out to this company, and they did not get back to me. Apparently, they don't want a $16,000 sale.
Who are they selling to? Well, who
I don't
are they
know,
not
man.
Answering calls from.
I reached out, and they did not get back to me. Maybe they get a lot of trolls.
Okay, but like still, what are they? How many?
I don't
calls
know,
you
but
get?
listen, I reached out. If I recall, this one was actually cheaper here,
Which I love, by the way.
Yeah.
Because 16,000. Let's be honest. That's gonna hurt. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So this I
okay,
feel
this
like
looks-
it's a worthy successor to.
Now, how much is this one?
I think it was like $8,000 or something, but it's a fucking tank. It's got miniguns on the side.
Does it have live ammunition?
Unfortunately, I don't think that the miniguns are functional. I think it's purely for show.
Does it move? Do the tracks work?
I don't think so either. I think it just is supposed to just.
Oh, so it's just a dumb chair.
Yeah, but the whole top, the roof thing, like raises and lowers like a scorpion.
I was wrong actually. This one's a little bit different than one I sent. This one's all scorpion.
So that's actually the same thing. And that's like the normal version of it, and then they have a special edition that's all decked out like a tank, and that's the one I want.
Oh wait, but look at how the scorpion flexes. That's fucking sick, dude. What?
Yeah, so I believe this is made by the same company, and
what? That's crazy. Yo, but the tank doesn't have that cool scorpion motion.
Oh, it does. That's what I'm trying to say.
But it's so cool with the scorpion.
I think tanks are cooler than
Look,
scorpions.
it's your call. It's your
personally.
This
I
is
think
your
the tanks
rodeo.
are cooler.
The $5,000 scorpion chair made its entrance on episode 57 of After Dark.
I can't keep doing the show when Dan is constantly late. This is the second time this week.
Should we take a break?
Already?
Well, do you
I don't know
where
if
he
Dan.
is?
I thought he was at the dentist.
Well,
I don't know.
nobody. Oh.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Wait, what?
Coursing with 300 million volts of pure venom, pulsating with desert power, the steel striker surfs the sands of time and space. Time my mortal coil with this coiled creation atop the infinite wisdom of the datasphere, forged in the deepest recesses of a neutron star, perfected in the infinite between Alpha and the Omega. I am more than a mere man, but who am I? I am Chair, the Watcher from ergonomic nirvana, delivering herniated discs to the abyss of my abjuration, banishing the back pain to the outer lands of seat subservience to me, the Scorpion King, the LED RGB beacon in the eternal night of Nekek, lighting the way to Recliner Ragnarok. Come forth to me, the wizard of hate and love, foregone of ego, molded by the machinations of the multi-monitor. And I ask you, will you crumble to dust under the weight of your own spineless back? Or will you join me in sitting salvation?
Wow. Okay, that's where you were. It was just the new chair.
Whoa.
What's up, losers?
And the new chair is here.
I see y'all are sitting in regular chairs.
Yeah, I mean, I bought you that chair, Dan. It's not like.
But that
No, did you see-
entrance.
it was forged in a neutron star.
No, I
Did you
bought
watch
it. We bought it.
But you watched the video?
Within minutes of its debut, Dan would say this.
So, Dan, how is it? Is it comfortable? Like, be honest here.
Not particularly.
Yeah, I tried it out. It didn't seem very... There you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so it's a scorpion. and the scorpion tail holds the monitors.
Over the course of the Scorpion chair's life, multiple crew members would remark on the impractical and uncomfortable nature of the chair.
God, this chair fucking.
I mean, all these alpha dudes.
This chair's
very uncomfortable. I'm still sore from sitting in it for like 5 minutes.
And in less than 1 year, this is how Dan was speaking of the Scorpion chair.
Thank you for the gifted.
Somebody said, Dan, you asked for a scorpion desk instead. Yeah, I fucked up.
That was mine.
Clearly.
To be fair, was that my idea? Oh no, you did.
No, I presented it to you.
You could have had a Jeep.
I could have had a fucking Jeep.
Wow, magic happening here today.
Uncomfortable ass chair that I fucking hate now.
The Scorpion chair would be part of the crew for a little less than 2 years, slowly and meticulously eating away at Dan. During episode 102 of After Dark, Ethan would bring up a Reddit post about Dan getting a new chair.
Now, I don't know what kind of bullshit this is on the subreddit. Dan's not even here, but it's about him. Now, I am very, very much against this. People are starting to feel bad for Dan.
Why?
Because of the Scorpion chair. I think he's done his time. Time for a normal chair, they say. He has done his time on the seat. The bit has paid for itself. Let him have a proper chair and desk again. I don't think you
Does
guys...
he even want a normal chair back?
He'll come back, but I think he'd say yes.
Yeah.
I think he would have said yes a long time ago.
He did get a little cushion that made it a little easier, but yeah, we'd have to ask him.
But you know, I think he's so plugged into this setup.
Yeah.
I can't imagine him any other
Look
way.
at all the monitors,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah.
Honestly.
Who even is he without the Scorpion chair? I don't know.
Just a Dan. Just any other Dan.
The wizard status is gone.
Yeah.
Without the Scorpion chair. Dan, do you want a different chair?
Sorry about that. Right, the Reddit post about the chair. Listen, the gag is pretty good, but this chair has started to affect my life. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
It hurts my back.
Oh, your back hurts?
I sit in this 5 days a
that's not
week
good.
for hours and hours at a time, especially when we're live. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, but during the show, I like stand up and get up a lot. It's because if I don't,
shit.
I'm like, seriously, my like legs are falling asleep. It's
Okay,
this
that's
chair
not good.
fucking sucks.
So maybe the solution isn't to get you a normal chair, but to bring in some kind of ergonomic engineer.
If you want to do that, I'm open to suggestions.
I think the part of the joke is that it's like a transformer. We keep building on it.
Yeah. But listen, I mean, I lobbied for this chair. I made my own bed here. I understand that, and you spent a lot of money on it, and
I did.
so
I will say to
I can
Dan,
put up with it.
How long has it been?
It's been years now.
Yeah, it's been years.
Yeah,
It's been
like
years.
maybe like 2 years. I guess it was like 2 years ago we got it.
I will say Dan has been a good sport. He doesn't complain that much about it.
No. Not to
but,
us, at least.
But knowing he has back pain, that is a problem.
Yeah.
Also, he's hit his head on it so many times.
That's the other thing. It's dangerous. Like genuine. Like to make it badass and scorpion-like. You see how like there's like points everywhere. Like all over it is like sharp metal points, and so
even at like when
constantly,
Theodore
hit my
was
head
walking
or, like,
around
catch
there,
my elbow on it and shit. Yeah.
I put a tennis ball on the end for Theodore.
it's like right at face level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
gnarly
like
metal
toddler
level.
spike. I'm
Right.
like, this is not a greatly conceived chair.
During episode 111 of After Dark, the search for a new chair to replace the Scorpion chair would begin and end during the segment called The Back Chiller.
Dan has been complaining about his Scorpion chair, which I spent big money on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel
At
like
Dan's
I've always
request.
been very gracious about this chair.
Yeah, well, not so much anymore. Dan has no, but our hearts go out to Dan. He's suffering.
I am kind of suffering.
And
suffering.
you've long sat past the expectation
Should she
point
suffer?
for enjoying that chair.
Yes. I
All right,
would think
clap
so.
if you think she should suffer.
No.
So I think we all agree it's time for Dan to get a new
Clap those
chair.
cheeks.
But what chair is good enough to succeed to depose the Scorpion chair? Okay. So fans have submitted the greatest options available, from absurd to executive and everything in between. And Dan, as our bachelor, we're going to be doing a bracket here of a competition to find out who is going to be our match, our loving match for Dan. And no matter what it is, we'll buy, we'll make, we'll commission, we'll do whatever it takes to bring this chair into a reality.
As you can see on this bracket, there is a wide range of chair selections for Dan. A couple of my favorites being the bed that's also a desk and the Ronald McDonald bench.
There is very possibly a finalist in this next and final group.
So up next, this is the final bracket of the first round. We have the Star Trek chair coming in. This is fantastic. I mean, it fits the aesthetic. It fits the role. You are the captain.
Oh,
engage. Engage is what and I want you to engage with this chair sexually.
I've mentioned it a few times on the show, but I don't know if everyone's aware. Big Trekkie here, especially Next Gen. That's my shit. Picard's my guy. Wow. I mean, that's... Now, I do want to point out, this appears to be the design from the Enterprise E, not the D.
Okay.
And the D is the one from the TV show. The E is the one from the movie.
Pull up the one that you want.
So it's very similar. It's a different color scheme.
This one is installed. It doesn't swivel.
It does swivel. It's just...
Can you zoom in more?
Yeah, here.
Let me take a closer look at that.
If he chooses this one, can we make the whole set look like this?
Dude. In the end, Dan would not be able to resist his Star Trek chair.
I think I gotta... I think the nerd in me is too strong. I think I gotta pick the Star Trek chair.
Make it so.
Make it so.
And there we have a winner. Triumphant music is playing. Everybody is
playing
so
like
excited.
kind of creepy music, actually.
The captain has been crowned. The king is born.
There we go. Okay, now we got something upbeat. All right, let's fucking go, dude.
The crew would look into options on how to acquire this chair, settling on getting it custom built for $10,000. During episode 112 of After Dark on Dan's 36th birthday, he was finally freed from the shackles of the Scorpion chair and returned to a normal chair while awaiting for the arrival of the Star Trek chair. That's a lot of chairs in one sentence. Viewers would note almost an immediate change in Dan's demeanor and mood, adding validity to the claims that the Scorpion chair was legitimately affecting Dan's life.
Anyway, the Scorpion chair is gone, and even though it's not necessarily missed, it will be remembered. And with that being said, we have made a memorial dedication to the Scorpion chair. So without further ado, let's check that out.
A good amount of this in memoriam is stuff that I've already shown you, so I'm just going to skip to the end.
I don't know how Dan sits in that fucking chair, dude.
Dude.
It's horrific.
Yeah, it is. It's horrific.
Not that comfortable, is it?
Dan has been suffering in the Scorpion chair. It's a monkey paw wish that essentially has gone wrong.
You got it.
You got it.
I got it.
Careful what you wish for.
Absolutely.
I got to be frank. Your choice leaves you in that chair for an undeterminate amount of time.
No. I'm ditching it next Tuesday.
There it is. A beautiful, kind of a, it's really a beautiful video. That was awesome. Yeah, so it turned, our original question was, I wonder if it would be comfortable. The answer was a resounding.
Resounding no.
Yeah.
No, it was not. It was not.
Oh my God.
Do not recommend.
Ethan and the crew gave a few brief updates in the following months regarding the chair, but there was not much more than that. It wasn't until almost a year later during the episode The H3 Show live from the Greek Theater that the chair would finally be revealed.
You suffered long enough. After long waiting, how much was the Scorpion chair? Like 7,000? And this one was more.
4 or something?
Oh, this one was 10,000.
You spent $10,000 on the chair?
Because that's how much it costs, right?
You tell me.
Oh, it cost 10,000.
It was $35,000. No, it wasn't.
No, stop it. That's how much my fridge costs.
You're right.
Dan, are you ready? Woo! Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
I did not look at it before I took the curtain off. Okay. Congratulations.
Wow. Cool.
This looks really good, man. Spent 10,000 on that one. Have a seat. Don't be shy.
Who made that chair, Dad?
Come on. Don't be shy. I know it's a great honor. You're nervous. You're nervous. Sit. It's a great honor. Not bad, right? You ever been in a chair that goes side by side like that? So it's loose on the access.
Where'd you get this? What the hell? I mean, I guess I'm appreciative.
No, I did actually spend 10,000 on it. I don't understand what this is we got. Like, genuinely.
That is true.
That's not even true.
It looks like a ball sack.
It does.
Like, I don't know what the fuck.
You should have gave me $10,000.
You know, this might be a bigger waste of money than Bevo.
Yeah.
I could have done 2 Bevos for that fucking
I
chair.
can't believe it.
Sorry, Dan.
You should have gave Sam
It really was
$10,000.
supposed to be good, man.
We saw this for the first time 2 hours before the show. And this is what happened.
To be honest, I saw someone wheeling it over there, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, that is not our chair. I was like, I must not have seen it good. What do you think, Dan?
It's great, man. I really appreciate it.
So I was actually at that live show, and I remember when they brought that chair out on stage thinking that there's no way that they paid this much money for that chair, or that the whole thing was just a bit, but nope, that was the real chair. It looks as though it was a repurposed office chair for the low price of $10,000. Luckily, I guess depending on how you look at it, Ethan only paid half the price up front and stated that he did not think he would be paying the other half. In the following episode, Dan would be seen sitting in his chair, but ever since then, it has not been seen again, and the search for a perfect chair has seemingly come to an end after 3 years. He has remained in a normal office chair ever since, but who knows, maybe someday the search for a perfect chair will continue. Viewers of the H3 show often remark that Ethan has theater kid energy, but the argument has also been made that Dan is majorly suppressing some theater kid energy. The energy seems to be waiting just underneath the surface, hidden from sight, but when it's called upon, it is glorious.
Dan, you do too. A lot of us are theater kids. Let's be real.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Dan, you're
I've been running away for it my whole life. You don't understand.
Dan,
Sing a little song one day?
you will never beat the accusations after Monday's episode.
No.
Over the course of the show, Dan never shies away from stretching his acting muscle and has taken on a number of personas. A couple of quick examples would be, during the show's poker arc, Dan took on the persona of Panama Dan to help him get into the zone while competing against the rest of the crew during the crew-only poker game.
I thought I didn't know how to play poker. Sorry, I thought I didn't know how to play poker. Don't splash the pot, Dan.
No way.
Oh, shit. Let's see, he's got nothing.
I'll try it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
Ace king.
That's called a...
It's split, right?
Dan, no, that's a Dan win.
What the hell?
Oh, your best 5 cards.
Because I told you, I know how this guy plays. He doesn't
Dude, I knock you out every
Dude, I
game, you bum. You're in the... Yo, he's in the...
Or, another example is during the live show at the Greek Theater, Dan dressed up as Kratos from the video game God of War. Most recently, during the crew Dungeons & Dragons episode, Dan would dress up as Thaddeus Winklethorpe.
Name's Thaddeus Winklethorpe, Esquire.
Why are you... You can't be a lawyer, man.
It's in the antiquated sense of the term, Esquire.
What's
Not
that?
necessarily a lawyer, a
What is it
bailiff.
then?
A bailiff, I'm no bailiff.
What are you then?
It's a minor noble title.
Okay.
It's
all right.
Gallagher brothers. It's a minor noble title.
That's not much of a noble accent.
I said minor. I said minor, didn't it? Isn't it?
And it is.
Maybe I don't want to commit to that for the next
pretty funny.
5 hours.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay, well, I'm an aspiring inventor. Well, I aspire to be one of the greatest inventors in all the land of Andoria. Andoria?
Aloria.
Aloria? Lorry, that's like a truck, isn't it?
It in.
This is a little offensive for me, actually.
I was the apprentice of a world-renowned inventor named Bubblesworth Cogswheel.
Tiger looks down and an empty bottle of whiskey falls out of his pocket.
This man is a drunk. It's no surprise, this fool.
There ain't no shame in that, isn't it?
You must keep a clear mind to pray to the mother of creation.
Content Court was a series of episodes in which the crew would present a case involving an influencer and an offense in which Ethan, posing as the judge, and Hila, posing as the bailiff, would hear the case and make a decision by the end of the episode based on the charges. In the initial run of Content Court, AB played the lawyer, but recently they brought it back for 2 episodes, and with the return of the show, a new lawyer had emerged. Dan's portrayal of an incompetent lawyer is a great example of his unsuppressed theater kid energy, as well as a good showcase of his comedic chops.
I'll be defending Aiden Ross today, yeah. Yeah, I apologize. Let me edit that out. Well, there's no point. This is why I'm here, to defend Aiden Ross. But by defending him, I challenge each of you to... Oh, I'm so sorry.
Mr. Swerdlove, I remind you to turn off all mobile devices. Swerdlove.
I'm hitting silence.
All right.
No, this is great. Keep whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Jesus.
Mr. Swerdlove.
I'm sorry.
No more interruptions.
Okay,
please.
I am so sorry, Your Honor. I am so sorry.
Continue with your opening statements.
Where was I? Oh my God.
Dan's most memorable persona, in my opinion, and the main one I want to highlight in this part of the video, is that of a traffic reporter. Shortly after rebranding to the H3 show, Ethan became jokingly fixated on the aesthetics of a radio show. Changes were made to the green screen background and new radio-esque sound drops were recorded to better fit the new theme. In episode 19 of the H3 show, Zach the Sound Lad dropped a sound that played before the radio traffic report on LA radios, and so Dan the Traffic Reporter was born.
101.1 KETH Los Angeles.
Show us. 101.
Wow. You are listening to... Thank you so much to Stamps.com, who we love, love, love. What is that one?
It's the KNX 1070 traffic report.
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't grow up hearing
So
this like
true.
all the time?
Yeah.
That
But don't
sound
we need
effect is burned into my
Don't we need
skull.
a traffic report?
Yeah, you want to? I can give an update.
I'll give you guys an update. There's
The
traffic.
weather
It's 73 degrees. Another
Period.
perfect day out here in Los Angeles. 101.
Let's take a look at the roads,
Safe
people.
drive, everybody.
Wow, the 110 stretch through downtown is looking real solid on the northbound side. The southbound side, a little near Crypto.com Arena, but for the most part, looking clear. The 101 south through Hollywood, real jammed up right around
405
Sunset.
South is a mess.
The 405, let's take a look at the 405. Let's pop on over to Getty
Absolute
Center.
mess.
405 north, south of Culver City, looking red all the way up through the
Nightmare.
Culver Pass.
All right, everybody. Thank you. So,
Dan and the crew would continue to pester Ethan by surprising him with traffic reports, starting with this one in episode 22 of the H3 show.
Friday.
and I was like, how Jimmy Lee is when... What?
Sorry to interrupt you.
Hold that
Ethan.
thought. Hold on.
It's update time.
Wait.
Folks, Boston, Massachusetts, look at this. It's the 93 is real jam coming out of the north end there. But
Dan, what are you doing?
If you're looking to get over east and get over to Logan, I can recommend the tunnel, the 1A, as it's known, to get on over.
Dan, what is
to that side
happening?
of town? Also on the south side,
You did not
near
ask permission for the
Chinatown,
green
at the
screen?
junction of the 90 and the 93. Real rough.
AB,
when
did
you're
you help
heading
him
east,
set that up?
But,
You didn't tell me about this?
Once you're heading
No,
west,
I had no
it should be
idea
no
about
problem. Back to you, Ethan.
I'm on your side for this.
Listening to KETH.
You can't throw it back to me. It's my show. That's not how this works.
It's your show, exactly. I'd like you to take it from
And
here.
back to you, Ethan.
You know those
I
rules
refuse.
of broadcast?
I refuse
Excuse
it.
me. This is basic stuff. When somebody says take it, you take it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how useful it is to be specifically talking about one bridge in Boston.
Well, that's why we need a lot of breaks. There's a lot of ground to cover.
You know what? I like it way more now that it doesn't use that annoying sound.
Oh,
That's true.
Okay.
That was appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, we switched it up.
These segments did a wonderful job of highlighting Dan's comedic timing. Dan's traffic reports would continue to pop up for the following month until finally hitting a high point at the H3 live show at the Greek Theater when Ethan finally clapped back.
What? What happened? No, why are they
You don't hear
scared?
that noise?
No, what's happening?
Uh-oh.
Bro, are you fucking kidding me? Dude, we talked about this.
They yearn for
We
the
talked
traffic.
about
They
this.
yearn for
You
the traffic.
promised.
Ah.
You know what?
I gotta do it.
This is, fuck this.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm leaving.
Rochester, New York. The freeways are looking clean, they're looking green, they're looking spicy, they're looking so nice right now. Can we please, Maestro in the back, if we could get a little bit of a zoom in, we gotta take a little more detailed look in the bottom right there. I see a little patch of red that is just slowing down just a little bit to the south. Downtown Rochester, but that's the other direction. No, we're gonna slide it right on. Wait, I'm already doing it. Wait, I'm already doing it.
Wait, I thought you
The fuck is that?
already started.
Guys, I'm already doing it. Wait, what?
Sorry to interrupt, Dan. I've got a beautiful view up here in the helicopter over beautiful Los Angeles. You take a look down there, you can see the 405 South looking clean, looking beautiful, looking fresh as a spring fountain. Here we are in Los Angeles from the air. Dan, on the other hand, reports from the ground in a fucking shed, a dark shed with the internet. Here I am, I'm in the air, I'm giving it to you straight. Look at the freeway. Look at it! Dan never wouldn't even dream of getting in the air like this. He's lazy, he's unmotivated, he doesn't know anything about action news. I am action news. Look, it's downtown Los Angeles. Look, Dan's a good producer, but he doesn't know anything about the weather. Dan is nothing! Nothing! Look how easy this shit is, dude. Traffic. Where's it at? It's not up here! I'll tell you something else, Dan. Socialism could never send a chopper in the sky like this. Capitalism is the only method that we could send a bird up in the air and give you traffic reports below. And you think Marxists know how to fly helicopters? Fuck no, they don't. Here we go. Beautiful fairway coming here, nice and clean. As you can see, it's a beautiful night up here in the sky. No traffic anywhere. We're looking at the 405 South, the 10 West, the 20 East, the 27, 5, 11, South by Southwest, East, every direction you're looking, East, Southwest, East, and all the in-betweens, West, Northeast, all that shit. Clear, clear, clear. Beautiful traffic down here. Dan is crying in shame because he knows that he can't do what I do. Let me check Google Maps. And Pittsburgh. Nobody fucking cares about what's the weather in Pittsburgh, bro. Get in the air. It's downtown Los Angeles. Get a look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Back to you, Dad. Like this, still on. Fuck you. I'll take it. It's still mine. I'm taking it and I'm keeping it. I'll pass it to you when I'm ready. Not yet. No. Back to you, Dad.
Oops, I'm sorry.
Suspect!
No. Dan, don't get down.
It's okay, Dan.
Don't be sad.
Yeah.
Hey, you good?
Yeah.
Dan would go on to do at least one more traffic report before what I would consider the finale of the meme. In the episode Content Court, Ethan Klein, Ethan and Dan would spend 40 minutes going back and forth, swapping topics to live report on, starting with the traffic, moving on to topics such as air traffic, space junk traffic, shark attack reports, and ending with topics such as horoscopes and Loch Ness Monster sighting reports. This segment was amazing, and just describing it does not do it justice. There is one moment I want to highlight from the beginning of this segment just because it made me laugh extremely extremely hard the first time I saw it, and I just love it so much.
Dan, is it cold in Vancouver today, or is it pretty warm?
No, he explicitly said he doesn't do the weather, Nate.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But time, I'm up for the time. I want to know the time.
Oh, I see our weather guy coming back now.
What time is high
So you
tide
do know who
today?
the hold on, Tom. So you do know who the weather guy is.
Tom, do you want to be the time guy?
Are you trolling me, Nate?
I think
It's easy to
You're
get
the
mixed
fucking
up,
new
Dan.
guy.
Dan,
Ethan, I think you need
Dan,
to start
I'm not
doing
the
the
expert
time.
here. Sometimes I get confused.
Tide?
The time.
The time, like top of the hour.
Oh, you want me to say what time it is?
Like time in Banff, Canada.
What's Banff?
Oh, okay. What is Banff?
I don't know.
Banff, Canada. Is that a real place? Banff?
Yeah.
Banff, Canada. What time is it? What time is it there?
I could get on the time thing.
Yeah, it's nice.
Guys, I want to give a shout out to Banff, Canada, the province of AB, which would be
Alberta.
Which one? Alberta. Sure. Alberta. That's gotta be. It's actually 2:47 p.m. Almost top of the hour there. Just a 1 hour difference here between us and good old Banff.
Huh, I wouldn't have known that unless you did the time report.
That's so weird. Very good. Oh, you guys want to know the weather in Banff?
No, I don't. I just wanted the time.
What's the time in Calgary?
Hold on, I'm still in Banff.
Oh, okay.
Banff weather, guys. You need to know this. It's going to be, it's a nice day, frankly. 67, high, sunny, no cloud, not a cloud in the sky, my friends. Get out there and soak up those rays because it's Canada. And you know, you don't get days like this because coming up on Tuesday, showers are coming, and they're going to go all week. So get out there, absorb those rays now while you can. Saturday, Sunday, also looking clear and beautiful. High of 77 and 81. Cloudless, beautiful. Soak up those rays, people. Guys, get ready because the rain is coming. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Ethan. Up here in the...
Ever since then, we have not received any more traffic reports, and the streets of the world are worse off for it. As I explained in the intro, the moniker of Dan the Hater was given to him by Ethan very early on in the history of the podcast. Dan's hate very, very rarely comes from a place of genuine anger, and usually more from, as stated earlier, a place of contrarianism, or being just a little too cool for something, and sometimes sarcasm. Here's a compilation of some of Dan's more lighthearted hater moments.
Whenever people say I'm surrounded by yes men, I was like, do you ever fucking, this is literally a no man.
Yeah, I find that
man,
hilarious.
the man does not support me on anything.
Oh, yeah. My wedding's next week. I didn't let any of you know because none of you were invited. Somebody high up at Twitch, like, own a piece of steak or something? Like, what the fuck is going on? You're not about to get kicked out of another thing. Oh, whoops. Oops.
Oh, did you ban him?
No.
Wait, did you ban him, Dan?
No.
Oh, you wouldn't do that, would you?
I would never.
Wait, did you?
Yeah, I banned him.
Oh my God, Dan. Now, don't you think it's a little pathetic that he's asking everybody for videos to get his girl back?
Yeah, it's cringe and pathetic as fuck. What a fucking loser. We killed a drifter, dude.
Seriously? That is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Fun, man. Good times.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Yeah. No,
We fucking killed him, dude.
There you have it, guys. The Bible has got some questionable things happening in there.
The Bible?
I've never heard that before.
Is canceled.
Little Mermaid. Oh, speaking of, yeah, dude. Fuck. Did you guys hear the
Speaking of woke trash.
I said you can be Green Arrow, whatever the shit that is.
I don't want to be Green fucking Arrow. It's
Can I
like
be Green
that's
Lantern?
DC's fucking Hawkeye.
Yeah, I was saying it
Pathetic.
could be Hawkeye.
What do you think, AB?
I'm not smart.
Well, I'm asking you what you think.
Oh, that's so sweet. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I wasn't
Fucking idiot. You don't know anything. Dumbass.
Oh, he's the one that reported that you
Yeah.
were making fun of.
Fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? First of all, change your fucking logo that very obviously looks like a fucking SS symbol.
Yeah.
Duh. Like, how was that not just step number one? Instead of just acting like everyone's crazy for seeing what's literally in front of their fucking face. And two, your entire NFT project is fucking awful, man. It's the ugliest thing.
Oh,
I've ever
come
seen.
on.
I can't.
Yes.
I can't not say that.
Actually,
Like,
I don't know why all of a sudden, because I'm talking to them, I feel like I want to be friendly. I've said that a million times. I fucking
it's
hate
the
it.
worst.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
it is a...
But it doesn't mean they're Nazis, right?
Yeah, I mean, these are separate
It's
issues.
a big difference.
These are separate issues.
Dan, I'm sorry. I'm sorry
not a
if you guys are
personal level.
watching.
I'm
Dan
sorry.
took the opportunity
This
to hate you.
is this is not anything personal. It's just your project sucks. It's a blight on society, and you know, I hope it fails.
Dan, maybe I won't out Dan for this. I don't
What?
know.
That I'm not a ninja? I'm the holdout here.
I don't even play Fortnite, and I stand Nina. But Dan just, I don't know. He's not a Fortnite guy.
Stan Nina, Dan, what the fuck?
Hater.
Hater ass.
Fucking.
I don't have any problem with Nina. I have a problem with Fortnite. It's a little baby game for children.
There are some people that Dan does genuinely hate, such as Andrew Tate. I mean, how could you not?
Money and time, trying to help the world.
Shut the fuck up! Oh my god, you run a pyramid scheme, dude! What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, that's why it's so annoying that people share this, because it's just like straight propaganda. It's literally, it's just straight propaganda and then shilling to his new program.
Yeah, even if you just ignore the fact that he's a giant misogynist and piece of shit, just ignore that. Just on the basis of what you do, you run a cam girl website and a Ponzi scheme. How the fuck are you helping the world? Like, what are you smoking, dude?
And of course, Jimmy Lee. If you don't know who Jimmy Lee is, that's a subject that could warrant its own video, but a quick summary is that he is a dentist trying to get famous, originally featured on the Ethan and Hila channel. Over the years, he has appeared on the show many times, always showcasing his crude, racist, and generally unfunny humor.
And my wife is Chinese. Once in a while, she's on her knees. You know about that. Oh, stop it! Wait. Now wait a minute. I got another. Oh.
No.
Wait a minute. I'm coming over
Lovingly.
here.
Lovingly.
Now wait a minute. I'm coming on this side. She's from Hawaii. She's from the island of I Like a Dickie. Whoa. Hey. I'm going back up.
He's fast. He's fast.
Hey. I found out she's faking orgasm. Zach told me last night. Oh! She wants to have sex in the back seat of the car now. She wants me to drive. Sit the hell down, you sons of bitch. I hope you jump on your bike and there's no seat, you German rat bastard, and get rid of the armband.
The viewers' reactions have always been nearly perfectly split on Jimmy being a reoccurring guest on the show.
What did you say?
What?
I think he's a lemon drop. What a lemon drop is?
What's a lemon drop?
Cootie lemo. You know what a cootie lemo is?
A what?
Oh my God. Cootie lemo.
Is this some old-time race or like bigotry that you're
old-time
talking about?
homophobia?
No, gay.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's old-time homophobia.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, you're getting your shirts next week, and I even got one for Dan who hates me.
I really do. You're an asshole.
I know.
Oh, don't say that.
I know, and I'm all right with it, Dan. It took me a while to accept it.
Okay,
but I'm
good.
cool.
Glad you know.
Come on.
Jersey Outlaw loves H3H3.
All right.
All right, cool.
All right, well, don't. You did it. You actually did it. How are you feeling about that now that you've sat with it for a minute?
I feel fine with it. I couldn't lie to him in that moment.
Yeah.
You know, he always does that. He always like, Dan, you hate me, and it's like I don't really like him, but I'd always be like, I don't want to hurt his feelings. I don't want to make him feel bad.
I think it went well. I mean, it was funny.
I mean,
I don't think it.
for Jimmy.
I think it was kind of uncomfortable, and I definitely contributed to that. So I apologize.
Listen,
I couldn't hold back in that moment.
Yeah,
it was.
he also contributed to it.
He asked first. He asked you.
He asked.
He asked you.
And he keep. That's like the 50th time that he's done that, and I've always been like, it's okay, sweetie. I don't hate you. It's okay, little baby. This is like this. You're a grown adult.
But in a way,
no, I don't like.
Jimmy eventually flew too close to the sun, potentially did some questionable things with one of his fans while married, effectively burning the bridge with the H3 show. Dan was the first member of the crew to fully denounce Jimmy Lee, and I just think it further highlights Dan's ability to see clearly and be the voice of reason, even when no one else in the crew is saying it. Although I know Jimmy Lee was definitely pissing off Zach as well. I didn't really know where else to put this in the video, so I'm throwing it in right here because I think Dan started with hating on this meme a little bit, potentially, is the meme of this guy looks like Dan. Over the years, fans often see the resemblance to Dan in many things, such as other bald white men with beards, animals, or even inanimate objects. This meme is still prevalent amongst the fan base, and if you spend any time on the subreddit, you almost certainly will come across one of these memes. Even in one of the most recent episodes, they are still reviewing instances of potential Dan clones. Have you seen this man? During this section of the video, I'm going to run through a number of the most used sound bites, either by Dan or about Dan. In an effort to keep this video a little more concise, I'm going to just give the minimal amount of context needed to understand each of these sound bites.
Honestly.
This soundbite took place during episode 106 of the H3 podcast. This has got to be one of the very first soundbites they ever used, and often the origin of early soundbites was Zach clipping other crew members, saying mundane things, and then using it to confuse Ethan later on. I believe that was the case with this soundbite, and it's also the origin of one of the 2 soundbites on the OG Dan the Wizard shirt.
You make a decent salary here. I know. I mean, I'm the guy that pays you, so I know.
you know.
Yeah. But like, well, I understand you're being economical, but it's like, God, you shouldn't have
if you're
to
trying
fucking
to
live with someone.
put some money aside.
Yeah. Do you like living with someone, Dan, or do you prefer to have your own place?
I mean, yeah, I prefer, but it's not really realistic, honestly.
It's a waste of money.
Hey guys, I'm so sorry to interrupt. We got to go to break.
During episode 148 of the H3 podcast featuring Bobby Lee and Kalila, Bobby Lee was telling a very personal story when Ethan instructed Dan via his computer to cut in and interrupt the story. This is also the other soundbite featured on the OG Dan the Wizard shirt.
I mean, I remember my mom opening her mouth and teeth being knocked out. I mean, he was a nightmare. And I used to pray. I didn't even really believe in God, but I used to go, God, please kill this fucking cocksucker. I fucking hate him,
Hey guys, I'm so sorry to interrupt. We got to go to break.
Why would you break there?
Dan.
Dan, why would you break there?
Did you tell him to do that?
I had nothing to do with that.
Stick your finger.
During episode 19 of H3 TV, the chat and comments would latch on to a word misspoken by Dan, causing it to become a soundbite.
What you want to do is slip your finger in the hole.
You want to put, just like a Bugs Bunny cartoon, you actually want to stick your finger in the barrel of the gun.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if he tries to shoot it, it'll backfire and blow black soot all over your assailant's face.
That's actually a really good, idea. I'm surprised he hasn't gone that route yet.
Jacket off.
On episode 57 of H3 TV, during an egg drop challenge segment, before dropping his egg, Ethan removed his jacket, causing Dan to comment about how serious Ethan was taking this challenge.
Wow, it's serious. Jacket off.
Why'd you take the jacket off? And the socks off? He's gonna be a completely different person.
I can't stand Dan.
During episode 31 of See You Next Tuesday, YouTuber Rich Lux jokingly started beef with Dan after being banned in chat.
I think it was during the Ace Fest fallout, right? We were talking about how he got kicked out of the event, and I think that he wanted to talk about it, but when it was sent in chat, he said it on the show when it happened. He was like, I just banned him.
I remember you banned him, but I can't stand Dan. I can't stand Dan.
Okay,
Dan?
I can't help it. He's just having fun. We love Rich Lux, don't we, folks?
Block
We kid him.
me for my favorite show, H3.
Oh.
Dan is jealous of me. Dan is the queen. You can't do nothing wrong. Dan is the queen.
On the same episode of See You Next Tuesday, another soundbite would be pulled from the exact same rant from YouTuber Rich Lux.
And there is so many people who agree with me, and there are also so many people who agree that Dan is the queen. You can't do nothing wrong. Dan is the queen, right?
I'm one of those people, by the way. Dan is infallible. You cannot touch Dan. You cannot say fucking shit about Dan, or you will be banned. There's a no Dan hate. Our chat is a Dan hate free zone. I'll have you know that right now.
Ethan Klein will be loyal to his employees. So Dan could just do no wrong. Instead of being like, now Dan, that wasn't nice. Now Dan, you shouldn't have done that, Dan. No.
I want to talk about feet.
In episode 181 of the podcast, Dan is eager to get to the topic of WikiFeet, a website dedicated to rating celebrities' feet.
Everything in this country has to be political. Can we just talk about a tattoo?
I want to talk about feet. I've been
Aesthetically.
waiting all day to talk about this feet.
Well, here's a pair. What do you think of this one?
I'm gonna come.
In episode 1 of Off the Rails, when Dan is talking about hating ranch, he makes an unfortunate pause in his sentence.
I'll do whatever BTS is doing.
I'm gonna come out of the closet right now and let everybody know that I'm actually a ranch hater.
Me too.
Fuck ranch. Awful. One of the worst inventions. Dan the hater! Yeah, no, I'll embrace it on that one. Come at me. I can't jerk off to this.
In episode 14 of Off the Rails, the crew is testing a method of getting out of a chokehold when Dan cracks a joke.
Just go limp.
Wait, shouldn't Zach be choking from the front?
Yeah, I don't know what this.
Zach, wait. Zach, you should be choking from the front.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone chokes from the back.
It is the front.
I can't jerk off to
This
this.
is some
Maybe I
kinky
said
ass
the back.
shit. Yeah, I mean, choking from the back.
You take your arms, put them on top of his, and then drop your weight.
Put your balls in my mouth?
In episode 62 of Off the Rails, Ethan and Dan try to recall the lyrics to a jingle for a children's toy from 1992, Mr. Bucket.
Mr. Bucket.
Mr. Bucket.
Balls fall out
your
of
balls
my mouth.
in my head. Right? Isn't that the put your balls in my mouth guy?
Mr. Bucket. Balls fall out of my mouth.
Balls fall out of my mouth.
Buckets of fun.
Now, does he say balls in my mouth? Put your balls in my mouth?
I think he says balls.
Oh, I'm gonna sound.
That's how I
soundbite
remember
the
it, and I was
shit out of
thinking
that,
I was
Dan.
misremembering.
Mr.
but-
Bucket, pull it up.
W Dan, Wan.
In episode 47 of H3 TV, YouTuber Gideon reacts to Dan defending him.
You guys are saying L Ethan, but
Yeah, I know.
I know
His
you guys
chat
watch.
fucking hates me. It's awesome.
You know,
Yeah, but they love Dan, so.
don't go too hard on the chat. Although he probably, I'm the one who brings up the KKK video, so he probably switches up on me real quick. I didn't see that far. So
Okay, good.
You can stop the cap. So what's Brody's name?
Dan. They know
What?
you.
Dan. W Dan, Wan.
I like
Wan in the
that.
chat.
Wan.
WAN.
Yo, you
Wan
should
in
grab that, Zach. Wan.
Okay.
That could be useful.
the chat, y'all.
Okay, can we get Wans in the chat, guys? W Dan. Wan. See, I like that. That's good. Dan has never looked good.
In episode 56 of H3 TV, Teddy Fresh, Ethan and Ela Klein's clothing company, used the crew as models for one of their most recent promotional videos, and Ethan accidentally misspoke during the voiceover.
Joining us with the color block long sleeve. Oh, Dan has never looked good. Here comes Ian. Okay, that. All right. Dan, first of all, I meant to say Dan has never looked better. Somehow that came out of my mouth.
A little Freudian slip. It's not your fault.
On the show before this episode, the soundbite, "It's not your fault," from Good Will Hunting had been played many times, and during this episode, episode 54 of Off the Rails, AB recites "It's not your fault" to Dan while he's dying from eating a hot chip, and Dan recites it back to him.
Whew. I feel like my hands are tingling, man. My hands are tingling, man.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
And now that you've gone through it, do you think AB was overreacting?
Dan's a good man.
During episode 28 of After Dark, Dan is describing finally going bald when Zach drops this Joe Biden soundbite for the very first time.
Let me ask you this. Do you have to sunscreen your dome?
No.
No.
But I usually do wear a hat, so I don't know.
Right.
Dan's a good man.
I think it suits you. I mean,
Yeah, you look
you're
good.
bald.
Dan should mayo up that dome.
I saved this soundbite for last because it's worth explaining a little bit more than just the minimal amount of context. Here is the original clip from After Dark episode number 2.
It's
Thank
$15.
you. Very generous.
But more importantly, he said Dan should mayo up that dome if Ethan reaches his weight loss goal. Dan, do it for Ethan. And I could agree to that.
So what
I
is
think
my
I could get on board
goal?
with that.
I would mayo my dome.
Whoa!
Everyone mayos their dome?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I gotta share a bed with you. That's not that great. You're gonna stink like mayo, and I gotta sleep next to you.
It would take 3 years, but Ethan did reach his weight loss goal. This meant that Dan's dome would be mayoed up live on the show.
When?
Hit Get this, bro.
It's good.
Fresh from the source.
All right.
W Dan.
W Dan.
W Dan.
That's true. Good point. I don't know what to do, my hand.
Wiping it off on your present.
I don't know what to do, my. I have pesto shit on my hand.
Nazar, clean up his hands, bro.
So listen, we wanted to do something special for the end of this. Ethan, I'm talking to you, bro.
Hold on one second, just clean.
It's a heartfelt moment.
Just wait. All right, Dan, I'm ready.
You ready? You ready? You good? You good?
There's a little bit on my thumb. Thanks. Yeah, go ahead.
So listen, we want to do something special for your birthday. We want to do something special to kind of close out the live show here. You have been working really hard over the last 6 to 9 months on your weight loss journey.
He's doing it! No way! This is my dream. This is like AB getting his 100,000 play button before he hit 100,000.
Yes, yeah, I did. Thank you, guys.
Oh my God, this is so exciting.
So that's the thing. We knew you were close, and we thought maybe it would line up, and we were being a little deceptive on the show, saying we'll do it as a thing when we come back from break.
Yeah.
This was the plan the whole time.
Oh my God,
And
that's so touching.
You said the other day that you hit 203, and that was like a couple days ago. It's possible you're 202, 201. Yeah, let's just fudge it a little bit. He's 200. Let's give it to him, people. Let's give it to him.
Oh my God.
So, if we could, I think let's scoot it over a little bit closer into the light here. Oh,
all right.
What a guy. My guy. And let's do this thing.
So good. How you doing?
It's horrible.
It's smelly, huh?
Yeah.
Well, if you had hair, this would be really good for it.
Maybe it'll grow back now.
Yeah. That's a lot of mayonnaise, dude. That's just one jug. Should I keep going?
Why don't you...
Dan, may I?
Yeah, okay, sure.
Thank you.
I'm hungry. Here, we'll share it.
Dan has had many loves, such as salt and vinegar chips, Avatar, and also his significant other, Allie. Allie, who is a digital artist, check out her Instagram at Allison Mackenzie Art, has been featured on the show only a few times, but has helped out behind the scenes, such as designing the poster for the Steamy's H3 live show, or working the merch booth during the various live shows. Even though she hasn't appeared on the show many times, she is referenced frequently during ad reads for Stamps.com. Seeing as Allie is likely the only person that Ethan knows personally that uses Stamps.com, he makes a point to mention her during nearly every single ad read for the sponsor.
Dan, your girlfriend Allie uses Stamps, right?
Yes, she does.
Your girlfriend uses Stamps.com, right, Dan?
She does.
We talk about this a lot, but Dan's girlfriend uses Stamps.com.
Every single day she does.
Yeah.
I know somebody who uses Stamps.com.
Dan's girlfriend loves Stamps.com.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, actually, she does. That's a good point.
This has turned into a bit of a meme where Dan and Ethan act as if Stamps.com is a huge part of Allie's life.
Dan's, we've talked about this, but Dan's girlfriend uses Stamps.com, and I think it changed her life, probably.
Every day. Changed her life.
She's like, you know what? I know it's a joke, but I really do love Stamps.com.
It's true.
And then she said to me, all I have to do is I print it. It's so easy. They send you a digital scale.
Mm-hmm.
You literally can weigh your packages on the digital scale. She said verbatim.
Yeah, she said all this. She just launched into a sales pitch.
And we always talk about Allie using Stamps.com, but she does use Stamps.com.
It's a fact, people.
She loves it. Every time I meet her, she just can't. She's always talking to me like, "Hey,
she won't.
Stamps.com app is
Stop
nuts
talking about it."
And I'm like, "I know." I says, "Allie, I know. Isn't it great?"
Please sit down. Stop talking about it.
No, I don't say that.
No, I do.
Yeah, we say, Dan, stop. We're talking about our passion.
Only the best.
Does she get a kick out of this whole thing?
She thinks it's so. I mean, yes, yeah.
It's turned into a meme at this point.
Exactly.
Obviously, yeah.
During the H3 live show from the Greek Theater, she would be invited on stage.
It's Miss Stamps.com herself. My lovely girlfriend, Allison. Join me. Hi, baby.
The queen of stamps.
So.
Wait.
Wait.
What the fuck?
He has something to say. Something to say.
Got a little something to say.
Where's my phone?
It's a question.
Better be what I think it is.
Is it?
Oh
This
my
probably doesn't come as a huge surprise. We talked about this for a while now. For probably too long. Especially considering that I pretty much knew I wanted to ask you this from the day I met you.
Oh my god.
Allison?
Doesn't get better.
So that's a yes or?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow.
After this, fans would eagerly await their marriage, wondering if it would be sponsored by Stamps.com. Just recently, during episode 101 of the H3 show, Dan would be absent from the show to deal with family matters, as described by Ethan. The following day, he would post on Instagram that they had eloped.
A bit better.
Have you ever had a cutie?
Too hard to peel.
I love the cuties. Those are
I
my
married
favorite.
one.
Stamps.com.
We're old enough to get married.
There you go, Allie. Your man's riding for you, girl.
Now, as a result of being newly married, Dan requests that you only refer to him as Mr. Swerdlove. Mr. Swerdlove is the voice of reason on this show. His takes are nearly always right, and I don't even feel like that's an exaggeration. I can't recall one time that Dan has had to genuinely apologize for anything on the show. So let's unite, fellow Swerd lovers, because Dan is the queen and he can do no wrong. I would like to close this video with a clip that I think really encapsulates how the H3 fanbase feels about Dan.
All right, up next we've got Doxer of the Year presented by our very own Dan Swerdlove. There he is.
Hello, everyone.
Jesus.
They love you, Dan.
What the fuck?
They love you. It's Dan Swerdlove! It's fucking Dan!
Loud.
W Dan, where?
Daniel!
Very loud in here. Thank you. Enough. Thank you. Wow, that was incredible. What a greeting. Thank you all for being here.
If you've made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you so much. This is the first time that I've ever tried to make a YouTube video like this, and so I guess I'm supposed to say something like, comment, and subscribe now, and hit that bell. You might as well follow me on Instagram too while you're at it, and TikTok. They'll be in the description down below, and in my YouTube channel. I just want to give a couple of quick shout-outs real quick. The first one being to Dan the Hater on YouTube, because he archives so many random Dan moments. The mundane ones and the exciting ones, and he just really helped me out trying to find the source videos for a lot of these Dan moments that I had in my head. So shout out to you. The second one being Waddles Jr. on Reddit. They're like the unofficial H3 archivist. Actually, as of episode 113 of the H3 show, he is now the official H3 archivist. Just had to correct you there real quick. They archive a ton of random moments from all of the crew, and they have a website called h3lore.com, so check it out. The third one I want to shout out is Alex the Fiction on YouTube. He makes fun H3 related content. I met him at one of the live shows, and he's the one that inspired me to start trying to make YouTube videos. So here I am trying. And the final thing I want to say is, like I said, this is my first video I've ever made. So if you're thinking about leaving a mean comment, just don't, okay? I only want nice comments down below. So if you're thinking about it, just quit it, okay? Just stop. Don't even think about it, okay? Just quit it. Just...